very good basketball program, had a very good season, and then their head coach, St. John's, during the preseason he was out for the entire season because he found out he had prostate cancer, and look how much it changed St. John's. They're coming into the season as the top three team that was going to finish the NBA, the Big East Conference, and it turned out they'll be in the bottom three. So. Um, Tell me a little bit about how do you think about give me a comparison with Texas Tech, the Texas Tech problem right now to what I just gave you, the St. John's problem that they had this year.
Well, obviously, cancer is a lot more serious than this thing that Billy Gillispie has right now with the stress and high blood pressure. But I mean, I'm not shying away that it's a concern for Texas Tech, but it's just that we are still a good 2 months away from the season, and obviously, if he's not better in 2 months, then we're going to have to start worrying about Texas Tech. But until we know the extent of this illness for Gillespie, then we're not sure how much of an impact it's going to have on the program.
His name is Steve Lavin. He's 48, had prostate cancer. He missed the entire season, unfortunately, and he had to see his the Red Storm really go downhill after that subpar season with high expectations going into the beginning of the season. So that was just an example I wanted to give to you. Texas Tech went 8-23 last year. They're obviously not doing well. They went 1-17 in Big 12 play. So that's really not something that you want to know to really think about if you're Texas Tech, a program that's going downhill. They're in the bottom of the page in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. It's just not doing good at all. It's just nothing's going well at all at Texas Tech. So and also Gillespie is no longer making decisions at Tech. So that isn't good already. The head coach first flying to get treatment, and now he's not making any decisions anymore. How is that? Is this going to be a? Is this is Texas Tech leaning with this news with Gillespie not making any decision anymore? Are they leaning to try to say you're going to get fired soon?
Well, I mean, I really, once again, I really don't think that right now it has an overwhelming effect on the program. You know, like you said, they were 1-17 in conference play last year, which is abysmal for a for such a storied program like Texas Tech. But you don't wish bad on Billy Gillispie, obviously, if you're even not a fan of Billy Gillispie. But I mean, it might be time for Texas Tech to have a new voice around. And if Gillespie's out for 3 months, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, we want him to get better. I'm not implying that it's good that he's away from the program with his illness, but sometimes you just need a new voice to start guiding you around. Obviously, Billy Gillespie is a fantastic coach, but maybe a change in scenery for these Texas Tech players in means of who's telling them what to do might help them.
Yeah, it's nice and simple. Just if there's a new voice going around, controlling the ball club, maybe it'll make a difference. And let's go to one more topic before we'll be talking about the rankings and how the March Madness will go this year. Murray State point guard Xavier or Zay Jackson was suspended by the team on Monday after being accused of hitting two people with his car in a Walmart parking lot in southwestern Kentucky. Obviously, the 20 year old sophomore um, was in really big trouble. Two counts of first degree assault, and then spent the Sunday night in jail. So this is not good at all, especially to Murray State. Even though they're in the Ohio Valley and they're a low major school, you can say since you say mid major. I can call them a low major because they're in such a bad conference in Ohio Valley. And they did very well this year. They had a winning streak of about 20 or 21. Then they lost to Tennessee State, and then they ended the year 31-2. Chris, does this make will the suspension of Jackson make a big impact on how Murray State performs this year?
Not at all. Jackson was a reserve last year who only averaged 4.9 points a game, 2.3 assists a game, and 20.1 rebounds a game as a freshman. Although he was expected to start this year for the Racers, I mean, they can make it without him. Like you said, they're in the Ohio Valley Conference, not a very strong conference, even though there's some sneaky good teams in there like Morehead State and Austin P. And, there's a lot of other good teams in there also. But, you know, I mean, I don't think this is a huge, huge deal with Murray State. I mean, they returned their great guard, Isaiah Cannon, who was a candidate for Player of the Year in the NCAA last year, one of the best mid-major guards out there, and certainly an NBA prospect. So I expect Murray State to have another strong campaign through this 2012-2013 season. You know, I really don't think this is going to hurt them at all, even though he was expected to start this year for the Racers. I just don't think it's that big of a deal, and I think once they get this figured out with this kid, he's just going to be an added bonus whenever he comes back.
That's true. I don't think this is a big thing either, in my opinion, because even though, like you said, even though he's supposed to start, uh, we don't really know if he's going to make a big impact as a starter. So it's like a 50-50 type of thing. If he didn't get suspended and he did start, what is he going to do good or was he going to do bad in like the entire time? So. And this is what Murray State coach Steve Prohm had to say about the suspension. Quote, I was disappointed and surprised to learn of the incident on Sunday involving Zay, unquote. Jackson did use his Monte Carlo car to hit the two people, so I don't know why he'll be using his nice, cool Monte Carlo in getting him arrested and hitting two people. So that's unfortunate for the Murray State team. Jackson is very dumb for doing that, and like you said, I think Murray State will move on from that incident very quickly. So, last part of our session with Chris Silvestri. Again, Chris Silvestri is the special guest here. He is the host of Chris's Corner here on Spreaker.com on the National Sports Station, and he is also the NCAA basketball analyst for this station. And to wrap it all up, let's talk about the rankings. At the end of the season, the top five teams in the rankings won Kentucky, Kansas, Ohio State, Louisville, and Syracuse. The AP did not have a rankings at the end of the season. ESPN USA Today did. Kentucky received all 31 first place votes. So, Chris, give me the top five teams that you think that should be in the top five to start the season.
Well, I believe it's going to all start with number one, the Indiana Hoosiers. This was the only team last year to beat Kentucky. IU had four double-figure scores and several significant role players from a team that finished 27-9 last year and advanced to the Sweet 16, returning. They got eliminated by Kentucky, so Kentucky got their revenge on them. But the Hoosiers also attracted an elite recruiting class in that will improve the squad's athleticism, depth, and could provide a starter. Watch out for this kid, young point guard Yogi Ferrell, who might bring even greater definition to an already potent offense. You have Tyler Zeller down there. You have a lot of good other role players for the Indiana Hoosiers. They have no choice but to improve dramatically at the defensive end. I mean, they were 64th in defensive efficiency last year, but, that crazy offense that they have, and just, like I said, Yogi Ferrell is going to be huge at the point guard right there, and, of course, Cody Zeller returning is going to be huge as well for Indiana. Number two, how about the UCLA Bruins, the two prep superstars UCLA they added point guard Kyle Anderson and small forward Shabazz Muhammad. So much buzz around these two guys.
Chris, can I cut you off for a second right there? Actually, Kentucky won 37-2. He said that Indiana was the only team that beat them. It turned out that Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament in the championship game eliminated Kentucky.
Right. You're right. That's right. I apologize for
That's all
that.
right. Don't worry. I was just trying to correct you there. And
Yeah.
continue with UCLA as an interesting pick for number two.
I don't know if I support this because I think the voters are going to put him in the top two. I mean, Ben Howland's job on the line. He's going to do all he can with, bringing in Anderson, Muhammad, and center Tony Parker. Not the point guard for the Spurs, but freshman Tony Parker, and Josh Smith down low, and the Ware twins. So I mean, they have a lot of good returning players, along with a very solid recruiting class to the Bruins. Shabazz Muhammad's probably going to be a one and done like Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd Gilchrist were, but he's going to be a real talent, not only Bruins but also in the NBA, I believe. This team, it's going to take a while for them to build chemistry, I believe. I don't think they're as talented as Kentucky was last year, and I do not think they're going to win a national championship. But by the end of the season, they're going to be a team that has a chance to go far in the NCAA tournament. How about at three, the Louisville Cardinals? I really like this team. They made the Final Four last season. Rick Pitino has coached Louisville twice to the Final Four, and this will stand as his most talented batch of Cardinals yet, many believe, including myself, along with proven quantities such as point guard Peyton Silva, power forward Shane Bohannon, and center Gang. Louisville now should have a healthy Wayne Blackshear and Mike Mara, and a better prepared Kevin Ware available on the wings. Louisville was a team that dealt with a lot of injuries last year. I mean, they had a great run in March, but did fall short of the NCAA title game. I think just like UCLA, Louisville lacked a proven three-point shooter to help keep defenses honest. But, with Rick Pitino at the helm, he places a tremendous emphasis on long-distance offense. Even last year when the Cardinals only shot 31.8% from three-point range, they fired nearly a third of their field goal attempts from beyond the arc. So you're going to expect to see more of that. I think the key player for the Louisville Cardinals is the kid Shane Blackshear. Wayne Blackshear. He's going to have to be a star. I mean, he didn't play much last season because of a shoulder injury, which made his Final Four go against Kentucky all the more impressive because he did come back in the NCAA tournament. He looked like he belonged with the best in the nation, but he barely played beforehand. So I think that did help, Louisville and their run in the NCAA tournament. But Peyton Silva is the big kid to watch out for. He's going to have a great NBA future. Number four, the Ohio State Buckeyes. They did lose Jaron Solinger and William Buford to the NBA, but come on, they bring back power forward Deshaun Thomas. He's ready to pick up the 24 shots per game that Solinger and Buford left behind, and he'll make an excellent use of them, in my opinion. Thomas has the skills to be comfortable averaging 20-plus points per game in the Big Ten Conference. They do bring back point guard Aaron Kraft. He's a great guy at reading the defense and kind of picking them apart. A key player to watch for Ohio State is sophomore center Amir Williams. He's going to step in to Jared Soldier's role from last year, and there will be no resemblance at all. The two are way different. Williams is not as much of an offensive player as Soldier was, but what a defensive player he was last year. He only averaged 3.6 minutes a game, but he averaged 0.8 blocks per game. So that's pretty impressive. You add that up, it's probably 2-3 blocks a game. So that's definitely going to be key for the Buckeyes down low. And number five, how about the defending champions? I'll give them some pub here. How about I'll choose them because they always do. They always seem to finish in the top five. Kentucky, one of the best programs in college basketball. Obviously, I didn't name Duke or North Carolina in my top five, but I really think John Calipari has, gotten this team